Hello, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Production House Podcast, where I will be chatting with the hidden heroes of dance music culture and the people that are the glue of operations behind the scenes. My name's Stretch, so if you're sitting comfortably, then let me begin. Hello and welcome again to the Production Podcast number 3 on the 21st of February 2023. And it's my honour and a pleasure to have the GOAT, Mr. Wilco Jung, with me today, the original king of content, owner and founder of We Are The Night, and of course, We Own The Night TV. Thank you very much for coming in, Wilco.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's a pleasure. Now, we were just literally just talking before we started about how long we've known each other, but we'll get to that later. What I want from you is to just tell us how it all began, where it all started for you, and then how you got to where you are today, basically, sir.
So we have planned the whole week for this recording?
We got you for an hour.
An hour. That's the slightly condensed version.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, what can I tell? My whole journey into this industry started at a party called Human Night of Extrema in not so far from here, the Beursgebouw in Eindhoven. And basically, you know, back in the days, were like the elaborate parties that are now around were raves, you know, and lots of fur, lots of neon going on, and man, I was a 19-year-old kid going out and accidentally bumping into some guy with a camera shooting a video, and I thought, like, hey, this is interesting. Well, it turned out to be Olaf, who ran a party website back in the days called Superfeest, and basically got in touch, and it it went from taking care of the website to creating videos of my own till, well, this is really picking up, and it has grown into a journey which is still I'm living, actually. So I started, like, I bumped into him at 2001 or something. So we're now, in
the city. Did you go in the city in 2001?
No, like that Human Night thing. Okay. I think it's more than 20 years ago that I started, like, sort of doing something in this industry, and it always fascinated me. I don't know why. It's a fascinating industry with all kinds of weird stuff and shenanigans happening, and it always when you think it cannot go like more chaotic than this, then always something new turns up and is even more chaotic. Yeah.
Well, you've actually done. There's a great documentary about your story about getting into the industry and everything else, and Superface became that sort of go-to website with rave reviews, photos of the parties, etc., etc. It was one of the first of its kind, right? There was quite a few around.
Yeah.
This was obviously before Facebook as well. What was the Dutch version that they had? The
Hives.
So that was
came out later than, like, bit later. Basically what you've seen, like, the whole social media stuff started, like, before that. You had those hubs where you would go to, and each hub would have his own little thing going on. And so we were one of the 5 or 6 first dance sites, party sites they're called. And later on you got Party Flock, which was basically a V1 for a social site, you know, where people really could interact. We had, like, a basic versions of people's commenting and that kind of stuff going on, but it wasn't like that elaborate. So later on came Hives, and basically when Hives came out, and also when I saw some stuff from Facebook, basically that was when I said, like, we're gonna stop the party site because it didn't make sense anymore. You couldn't compete to those big firms. So we went out and we said, no, we want to be the quality content partners for events. So we took off creating, like, a big photography team and a big, like, we did a lot of videos, hundreds.
Yeah, well, you was sort of front line, in your face, DJ booth in the crowd, with the film cameras for 8, 10, 12 hours long.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of the time, you know, you were doing it to be at the party. When did it switch and you said, obviously the checks got a little bit bigger with the production that you were supplying to these the club organisations at first, right? It was more festival organisations. When did it switch and you thought, I can do this, an artist can do this all on their own? When was it?
I don't
did
know.
It flip for you with that?
Don't think it ever really switched onto an artist can do this alone, but like it was more what you like at some point. YouTube got in 2005, and then you could really like distribute content pretty easy, and be like, see before YouTube, if we had a video which was like a success, which was a good video, then we would like, it would drain my finances because we had the video on a server and we would pay the data rates for the server. So lots of views meant lots of data. So more money. Well, more money. And there wasn't a real model behind it. We were just in it for the love of the music. And we, you know, it started off like in the first year you got tickets and that was fine, you know, but then again, I think that's the funny thing. What happened in the Netherlands? It wasn't a specific only us thing. It went from the organizers. They got more professional. The artists got more professional, and we are like and the whole industry around it got more professional.
Everybody grew together.
Yeah, and basically, I think what the party website enabled and also have shown to like the organizers and artists is like media is really, really important. And this is, I think, still why the Dutchies are pretty good at it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you are very good at it. So how would you describe your job description? What is your job description?
Well, it changes over time. I stopped giving me job description. I'm basically just the founder of the thing, and I do whatever it takes that needs to be done at this certain point of time in the lifetime of our organization. Yeah. And that changes. You know, you've seen good example of it. It's like we were nicely hovering along till Corona came, and then we needed to twist the whole thing into a TV program. And so my function always varies with the clients we have, with the assignments we have, and with the state of the industry. Yeah. And what I try to do is like predict a little bit where we go as an industry, and be hopefully at the forefront of it.
Ahead of the curve, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get to the COVID years, but so we obviously had a mutual friend, colleague, brother who's passed now, Dimitri, and I'm terrible with dates, but I can remember you calling me and say, "Can you get me in with the boys? I've got an idea." What year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, probably around 2006 ish. So 2006, 2007.
Your time there, was that the first? You went to Miami, wasn't it, for the first sort of project? Or was I wrong in that?
No, it was before that. Basically, I had a two-tier strategy for that, no, a three-tier strategy. So I called the office a lot of primetime management back in the days, which was the management agency of Tiesto. I've contacted you back in the days, but also got into touch with Wessel from Dance for Life back in the days, because Thijs was an ambassador. That's right, yeah. And so basically, it wasn't that alone. It was like,
you was hounding them.
But I thought it could be better.
Exactly. You knew something they didn't yet, right?
Well,
or at least you saw it that way.
I don't think I actually knew it myself back then, what it was. Right. But I knew there was something to gain there, and I wanted to be part of it. Yeah. And I thought it could be better. Yeah. And yeah. And so, if I think something can be better, and I have the time to do it, I'll chase it.
Yeah. So you had a wonderful run. You toured with all of that crew for a very long while.
Yeah, for about 2 years.
Yeah. And but it did help his profile. his profile went completely. I mean, it would have got there eventually, but his profile
it was already big.
Yeah, yeah, very true. So when you knew you had the ins, obviously you'd made contacts all around the world. When did you establish sort of, because you sort of bought out Superface, as it were, you sort of closed it down, and then you started We Are the Night, right?
Yeah, it evolved into We Are the Night.
Yeah.
Basically, at one point, Superface, I felt it wasn't the international name, so then it got like the Superface, the We Are the Night, and basically that moved out.
Yeah.
We Are the Night came in, and that stayed, and it's still up here. So yeah.
So established in 2008.
When we I drew the line under it, like, because it's like 2008, and I quit my job, and basically since 2008 I have been doing this.
Yeah. So, like you say, you work alone with all these different colleagues. You know, I just want to. Well, we can kind of get there now, actually. So, like you say, you were just doing your thing, being consistent within the industry, and then obviously a few years ago, our whole industry got closed down, practically.
Yeah.
Restraints, etc., etc., etc. So you touched on it earlier, where you said, you had to turn it all around. What was it that saw that you could switch it around? What was it? What was the spark in your head?
Basically, I always tell people we solve things with content. So my job is to solve a problem with content. So basically, I applied what we always say to that situation. So if you look at it from an abstract point of view, you have events. They take place at locations. People go there because they love the music, and you have artists play there. From those things, the people still like the music. You still have the artists. The only thing you couldn't do anymore was go to a venue. So, if you look at that from an abstract point of view, you still have the people, you still have the music, you have artists. So you need to solve the way how people consume it and interact it. And basically that's what we did with We Own the Night TV. We solved a place where people could watch it easily, interact with each other, be part of the show, and in a way solved the problem with content.
Yeah, it was actually a genius move, and the situation that arose out of that. Obviously I was part of the team. I was the host, which was very flattering. Made me step my game up. I think everybody's game got steps up.
Well, there was a lot to learn for you as well in the beginning. Everybody learns, because I think it took you from just hosting. Like normally, I guess normally you react on the music, right?
Yeah.
So you listen to the music, then you come in with the microphone, do your thing, and that's basically gets that vibe going. But with the show, we needed something different. We needed you to be more, the guide, the storyteller to the show, and also do the interviews with people. And that was new for you as well, right?
Absolutely, yeah. It was absolutely. I mean, we had you scrambled together a wonderful team, some of the best people in the whole industry. Shout out to who you are. And yeah, so we had that run of 2 years, and was it long? Was it 2 years almost? No,
it was a year.
Yeah, it was a year, wasn't it?
52 episodes.
Yeah. Was it 52 exactly?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, congratulations. But we had obviously some adventures in between. Some amazing DJ and producers came through.
Phew, man, we had like that formula was like that. Was it, because it was the opening spot was for the new talent, and then we always built up the night to maybe something more techno-ish or hardstyle-ish at the end. So you got that gradually build up night, which I really love, because it always gives you, we took you onto a musical journey, and I thought that was also something I wanted to do. I wanted to maybe not only give people an entertainment night, but also educate them for like being what music can be. But because normally the problem nowadays is, and you have to stage with one specific sound on it. But that's not, there's
That's
so
not
much
dance music.
more.
Yeah.
What I loved in the earlier days of music, people were always influenced by this and that and went from left to the right, and a night would build up, and a night would go maybe from house to tech house to maybe some sort of trance back, and even Thijs did it back in the days. Yeah. And I love that more free form of just playing.
Yeah.
Do whatever you like to do.
Well, we had the We Own the Night sound system. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But
That was one time.
yeah. So creatively, you've because you do DJ yourself as well. So creatively, you've always had a goal. Now, just recently, obviously, we were just talking just before the explosion again in the Middle East, and obviously you're at the front line again. Is it the ML Beast or something? What is it?
No, we're mostly we do a lot of work at Aldana. It's in Bahrain,
Right.
Which is a beautiful venue carved out of stone, and it's an amphitheater, and it's impressive, man. And
you're doing full production on that.
Yeah,
with regards to
for
filming.
content, we are responsible for that, and we're in the process of closing down another big stretch of that. And but it's not about the funny thing is, never has been about the money, and that's maybe also where I sometimes have dropped the ball.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, but it's never has been about the money. It's always has been about doing stuff that matters, and by doing stuff that matters, you earn money.
Yeah.
And sometimes, what I see a lot of nowadays is it's about the money. I get it, but there's so much stuff around that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And I don't say that I have the patent on or the certificate on creating stuff that matters. No. But it's that feeling that you want to do something that's right.
It was funny because we were talking with Ref the other week. He said the same thing. He said if you're into music for the money and to be a star, you probably won't ever make it. But if you're really passionate about something, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. And it's true, because I keep saying it to my daughters. If you find a passion, you will never have to work a day in your life.
And that's actually really true. That's I had a pretty damn good job before I quit it, and I would have made good amount of money by now, but I would have sold my soul.
Yeah.
And to the corporate life, and which is fine. In a way, and it's fine if you're doing that at the moment and be happy about it. In the end,
but you've got to be happy about it, right?
If you're happy about it, but somehow I had the luck to when I was studying, run into that guy at Extrema Humanites and find out where my real passion was.
Yeah.
And that's it has brought me so much. And but it has. Let me be clear. It has cost me everything.
Well, this is what I want to touch on now. I mean, when that whole madness was happening, you lost your father, you lost one of your mentors in Dimitri. You went through some very, very rough times. How have you kept your mental health together? Because I know you put on a brave face a lot of the times, and you have that German drive to just keep that stoic face. But how have you dealt mentally over the past few years?
Honestly, this goes back a little bit further, and this goes back to the point where Avicii passed away, and that got me thinking, because I met that guy. I met Tim when we were touring back in the days. He would stay at the villa, in Ibiza, and like, you know, he was a kid, you know.
Don't you remember that very, very first time when he was at Matrix Festival?
Yeah.
And we tried to interview him. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that
but
moment?
this, like, I already had seen him before. Gotcha. And he already was at because Matrix was the year after it, and then he already picked up speed. Yeah. And before that, he was already like...
Fade Into Darkness had been the hit the year before,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And he opened up for Tiesto in the Privilege in Ibiza. When he closed down, actually. Which was funny, you know. And yeah, you know, when we tried to interview him, he was off his head. Like, to be honest, like he was shit-faced drunk. And
but he did say, I'm not allowed to talk to you. Management won't let me talk to you.
Yeah, but the thing was, like, to be honest, when we were touring, we drank heavily. You know, every night there was a party. And that was the way it was. And Tim went along as well, you know, and we didn't show him anything else.
Yeah.
And that's maybe, you know, there's nothing I personally could have done to save him or something, you know. I wasn't that close, way not. But it's I think it's good to, like, it got me thinking, what is, you know, apart from doing stuff that matters, what's the bigger function of what we're doing? You know, there comes a point where your position in the industry is that way that people some sort of look at you for not only like for what you do, but how you do it. And you know, I've been privileged to do this. And the creepiest stuff when indeed my dad passed away, you know, I got that news an hour before we started with the show. Mm. Yeah. I pulled through the show and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
I told one guy.
Yeah.
Because I, you know, didn't know how to react.
Yeah.
Didn't know how I would react, actually. I knew I would pull the show, but you know. But then, you know, the week after, Dimitri also called me that he would pass away, like that he was dying, basically. So in 1 week, yeah, my whole support system got like sort of pulled away. And what keeps you together then? Well, that's a question you need to ask yourself, and I did.
But and what was it? Was it just the fact of your drive and just knowing that you can only move forward? No, because you cannot. It's not true that you only can move forward. You can actually just quit. See, Tim. There are other ways, you know, and there are multiple ways that people can decide to just stop or slide down the hill. But I actually, you know, I just got up and watched out of my room, and I was like, holy shit, man, we're living in paradise here, and I'm doing what I love already for what was it then, 12 or 13 years. There's, you know, yes, there's something really big going on, and I need to address that. Yeah. But I am living in paradise, living my dream. This doesn't change this. So you think with Tim passing, that was the sort of light bulb, just let you know that, hang on, I need to look after my health. I want to live forever. Oh yeah, that was indeed like a light bulb from, hey, listen, there's we do. As Dimitri always said it, we do Champions League stuff here, yeah, in our branch, you know, and we drive ourselves onto crazy heights with those shows and with those lots of people and the flights everywhere, long nights. But it's also you need to understand that it takes a lot to do this. You know, it takes a certain mindset. And yes, I indeed have a mindset to just go forward always, but that's not the only thing that's going to take you there. It's also like make the choices. It's not only about making the choices that you need to do to
to get to like that level, but it's also to understand what you're leaving behind or what you choose not to do.
Did you get depressed at any time?
No, it was challenging. I didn't get depressed because I had that like basically when it was the sequence of things. To be honest, like a year before that happened, my girlfriend just took off. And I just arranged the house, and I was like, hey, 2020 is going to be a cozy year. I'm going to go in large. Yeah. I was ready. We already in the first week of January, we did World Club Dome, which was interesting as well. But
they're a massive German operation as well, aren't they?
Yeah. But it's not German in any way further. And that's the much I gonna comment on that.
Okay,
but
we'll move on.
I was ready for that year.
Yeah.
And basically we took off doing We Own the Night TV. Actually, Dimitri was part of the first two, and for me, that whole sequence of my dad dying, sort of during the show, I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna kick the ass out of the show, man. I'm gonna make this large."
Yeah, we did.
Whatever.
We did. Can you remember the peak of the figures of the viewers?
Yeah. We were around 400,000 viewers every Saturday night.
And that was just via the Ziggo.
That was through Ziggo. Yeah. And we actually what you did was wonderful. We had like something really going on, and it wasn't only about the music. It was about do you remember the kids dancing on the sofas?
Yeah.
And we were educating little kids to listen to this music, to listen to that ever evolving beat that picks them up and might even change their lives.
That's right, because they could interact, sending us their images dancing at home, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's like, I was looking at it and I was like, holy shit, man, this is more than, and this is actually
shout to Face Fred.
Yeah, Face Fred
was the goat.
Our
set up a whole disco in his house.
Yeah. But there were more people that turned their living room into a disco. Yeah. But what happened there was like bigger than just music. It was a movement, and that's what always like, what I loved about house music, like I'll call it, because EDM or electronic music, whatever you want to call it. But what I loved about it is the openness. Yeah. For me, like I will tell you, one of my earliest. I lived in a quite small village here nearby, and we went to those big Belgian clubs, like the Zillion, like the film like just came out, and the Atmos and all those like Belgium clubs. They were like crazy, and I remember we had a school party at the dance salon back in the days, and it came like that big woman-like structure came walking to me with a plate of little frikandelletjes, and so that was one of my first like real experiences that I still remember. They came to me and were like, "Dit is geen frikandelletje voor mij, jongen." I just stuttered because I was like, "Yes, sir, madam. I have no idea." But it was, that for me is
the wow, wasn't it?
That for me is the house music industry. Be yourself. Yeah. Be that lavish part of yourself. Don't be like I get really annoyed by the Dutch thing. Like, let's do it normal. Don't be, let's do it. I like lavish, out there, go out there, live the life you can live, and be the person you want to be. And that's actually, we're recording this during Carnival.
Yeah, indeed. You had 2 days live, didn't you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Down south, they understand. You need to be. There's more. There's the the part of us that has been taught to us by society to be, and that's that boxed thing. But there's more.
Of course there's more.
And I personally, I've had the luck to explore that, and I had the people around me that told me, "Hey, Wilco, it's fine to be whatever you want to be.
Yeah. And
if you want to film stuff, film it." And I got the chances to be like, I worked hard, but I hadn't been. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I've been on a birthday of my aunt, and I think the last one I've been is 30 years ago.
Blimey.
To get...
You're just too busy to turn up anywhere and see the family.
I was never there.
Yeah.
I was never there in the weekends.
Yeah. So you're easing towards a pension.
Yeah.
Well, listen, actually, do you think you'll ever retire?
No, I think it will evolve. So we just released together, we just finished the assignment of the VVM, the Vereniging van Evenementenmakers.
That was because you'd already started filming that in the COVID years, of course. Right?
Well, we did some stuff for them back then,
right.
And basically what we did now is we created a look back at the pandemic and what the impact was for the industry, how the industry coped with it.
Can I just ask you, is there subtitles there? Because I'm guessing it's in Dutch mostly. Right?
It's in Dutch, but it's subtitled.
Okay, cool.
You can
we'll put the link in for you later.
You can probably just put on the subtitles on YouTube.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But what we did, it's funny because I lived that moment myself, but talking to all those figures we talked to the suppliers, like the biggest AV supplier from the Netherlands. We also talked to the CEO of ID&T. We also talked to locations like Ahoy. And what you see is there is in this industry there's some magic going on, and that magic is all about creating experiences that will last for a lifetime for other people. Actually, not for yourself, but for other people. You got to think about that. Yeah. So all our lives are centric about getting other people to have a great night.
I heard a great quote from Dave Chappelle. He says, "You have to understand, sometimes you're living somebody else's dream." And that is a great thing to take into of just to continue to think of others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to circle back to that question, what did you do to survive this? I realized that I'm living a dream. Realized that I'm, when I was 28, I was stepping in and outside of a private jet. That in itself will, till 99% of the population, will never happen.
This is true.
And became a sort of a normal thing while it lasted. Yeah. And that's crazy. And it's not something that I want to brag about, but it's like
it's an experience which you will never forget.
Yeah, and it's all these little building blocks, and that's what you need to realize. Like if you want to start somewhere in the industry, you need to do this journey.
Yeah,
and you need to have all these building blocks. Because they will create something it's all stuff you need to do. And call me a little bit out there, but the stuff what happened during the show and my passing away of those boat, that needed to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't think Dimitri would have enjoyed that time anyway.
No,
to be fair.
No, and that's the same for my dad. Those were two people that would have died in loneliness.
Yeah.
So I think they got the best way out they could for now.
Yeah.
Although it was gruesome, and definitely for Demi, and I don't wish it anybody. But I think I'm confident that this was the best solution for them, because look at it, how long it took from there. It took almost 2 years from that point to get some sort of normal again.
Yeah,
and
it was just kicking off, wasn't it? When Demi told us he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way,
was that the May? Was it the March or the May?
It was actually onto May, June.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes it is the way, and you need to see and feel the situation, and then also there's nothing to resist. Somebody just died or is dying. You can resist whatever you want, but it's not going to change shit. It's just going to make it more difficult for yourself.
Yeah.
And I know it's a very practical approach, and in that way, of course, it took me a while to get over it. Fuck, I still feel a love for them, but I'm honoring every day that sign is up there. It's honoring Dimitri de Wit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because it is his legacy that's living on, and in a way, because it's also like and that's the same with my dad. That there's the building blocks you're made of, and the only thing you can do then is honor those building blocks by carrying on.
Yeah. Just on the subject of your father, if you don't mind, we had that discussion. It turned out that he was a bit of a secretive. Can we talk about that or not?
I cannot talk about it.
But it turns out his dad was a bit of a James Bond. Anyway,
maybe or maybe not. Nobody will know.
Indeed. So yeah, what's going on right now? You mentioned the working with the people in Bahrain.
Yeah.
What is 2023 looking like for We Are and Own the Night?
Yeah, well, we branched out to the Middle East. I think now a good year and a half ago, we did some stuff there, and we actually enlarging that operation. And probably when this podcast is going to get aired, when are you going to air it?
It might be tonight, actually.
Oh no, then I can't.
Probably not. My
okay.
Tyson needs to sleep. Tyson needs to sleep.
Okay, then I cannot already we're in the process of.
It's going to be out next couple.
Yeah, we're in the process of hiring people also to expand that operations. And
are you looking for people from here or from over that in that region?
No, we're still looking for here, but we look people that fit the description for especially that job.
Yeah.
And it's interesting time. So I think the if you look at the market in the Netherlands, then you have to admit, and what's probably gonna happen is the really big festivals and events gonna sell out this year, but the smaller ones and the regional ones gonna have a big have a problematic time. So for us, there isn't that much of a future at the moment within the industry in the Netherlands, because it's not
saturated a bit. Isn't it?
It's saturated, and there's no everybody just wants to have content, but there's no look for quality and no look. We are more we evolved, we always evolve, and at this point, I believe the real growth is in the Middle East.
Yeah.
They don't have an elaborate entertainment industry yet, but they want to. They have the vision for it. They have the will to do it, and quite frankly, they also have the money to do it.
Well, they have more money than most as well, don't they?
Yeah, but it's not only about money, because you can like I said.
But I mean, isn't it troublesome with regards to the Islamic faith? Isn't it? There's obviously. You as a production company wouldn't probably not encounter those problems, but as an entertainment license holder to patrons that would like to have a drink, etc., etc., etc.
I can only tell about the experiences I've seen, but in a way, it's it's their fate, and if they want to evolve their faith into something new, it's they can do that, right? So
I guess so.
If you look at fate, what else? Fate?
Although at the same time, you don't have to be drinking alcohol to have a great time dancing to music. To be fair,
no, actually, that doesn't need to be but it's not up to me to judge a fate. It's I've been raised Catholic. I've done the whole stuff, the whole thing till being the angel at the Christmas play. So but I've departed from that because it's
Do you have photos of your Holy Communion then?
Yeah.
I want to see those. I want to see those. You show me yours and I'll show you mine.
You're not showing them too stretchy. No, I know, of course, there are challenges. And I'm not going to say they aren't there. But like what I've seen and the people I'm speaking to, like they are more than they are in it to build something. And they are in it to create an entertainment industry that matters for their own people. Like, and why not?
Yeah.
Like it's
they
not.
understand.
We don't
the
have
experience.
We don't have the privilege of having a good time, right?
Yeah.
Or like it's not only for us. Now everybody can have a good time.
Yeah.
And honestly,
you'd hope that, wouldn't you?
Private parties have been going on for years already.
Indeed.
At different like in every country, and there isn't any artist that hasn't flown in a jet to somewhere and did a private event for a prince or whatever.
Indeed.
Yeah. And made good money out of it.
Yeah.
And that has been going on for years, and it wasn't publicly that known, but like
cat's out of the bag now, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Does it really matter?
No, I don't think it does, and I look forward to it growing and growing. You know,
I thought it was now the time for you to come in with
Save Yemen.
Like, where is his Save Palestine T-shirt?
Well, we don't want to go down there, but yeah, that's. But Palestine have their own. They have their own ways and means of having fun and having a good time, and yeah, just never forget the Palestinians, mate. You got to support the Palestinians. So listen, I'm going to get you round to the on the spot.
Nicely diverted that.
Well,
mate.
listen, free Palestine, brother, free Palestine. I'm going to get you.
Cut this out.
I'm going to get you onto the on the spot questions.
Okay,
right? Because I know you was a bit of an old bodybuilder back in the day. But are you currently sporting? Are you currently finding some time to do your sporting and that?
Yeah. At least 2 times a week.
Yeah. You lifting still?
Yeah, still.
Yeah. Okay. What's your current bench press?
Ooh, it's like 90.
Okay.
It's not like
bad. Not bad. You're getting up there now. How old are you now?
41.
Yeah. That's not bad. Your best decade is to come now, mate. There's 40 to 50. It's a good one. Can't get any more on the spot than this. But who's your favourite DJ?
I cannot tell you who's my favorite DJ.
Boo! Come on, say it.
My favorite music to listen to, like the
you can't swerve
Spotify. No, like okay, no. Don't do this again. Favorite mix to listen to at the moment are the Solomon mixes.
The what ones?
Solomon.
Okay.
The monthly mixes, those are like, they're now a little bit Ital disco alike.
Okay.
I really like the variety in sounds going on and the build up, and it takes you from one to another place to another, and yeah.
Okay, cool. Digging it. What's your favourite venue that you've been to, either you've been to party or you've been to and worked?
Whew, that's a difficult question. Maybe the venue where I have the most vivid memories to is the T-Alf Stadium in 2002 when I partied there during Trans Energy. That was insane feeling of a dripping ceiling and
the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it was a proper rave, man.
Yeah. Production was good back in the days as well, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
You can't remember. Okay.
It was a good night.
What's your favourite food to sit down to in a restaurant? What's your favourite food to eat?
Woo! I'm quite I love my food stuff, right? Food in a restaurant. It's difficult, man.
If you're taking somebody out to dinner, where are you going to take them?
If I were, I'm actually next week. I'm traveling to LA. I definitely just would take you to a food stall, like to a food truck, and eat tacos.
Tacos?
Yeah. The real I
never got McDonald's from you, mate. And Kentucky, Kentucky, tell a lie. Kentucky, we got Kentucky. But yeah, tacos?
Yeah.
You like the Mexican food?
I really like Mexican food, but a proper one. Huh?
Yeah.
You know my stovevlees creations.
Yeah.
I take very much pride into creating a big kettle of stovevlees, Belgian flavor stovevlees. And
do you add a brown beer?
Yeah.
Okay, good man. Your favourite holiday spot?
Still got to find that.
Okay, that's fair enough. Where is it you're really sort of top of the list? You want to go? You want to sit on the beach for?
I want to go to somewhere in South America for a while. Travel to South Americas. Get a car and.
You mean Brazil or the Americas?
Yeah,
North
the south.
Yeah.
So I definitely also would want to go to to Canada, just drive through the mountains and do stuff like that. But I've had the privilege to see a lot in the world already. But I think in the end, it's not where you go, but why you go there, and who it.
What's been your most memorable place where you've been?
Yeah, and I've been a gazillion times to Ibiza, and for me that still is a very important spot because it has brought me a lot. I've of course worked there a lot, but it changes. Ibiza got less and less attractive to me.
I think to a lot of people.
Yeah,
they got more and more attracted to the money people.
But the money people always will be there where there's money to spend. And it's the same with Dubai or something like that. But
you can't compare the two, though,
in a way.
Nah.
In a way.
Nah.
In a way.
In a very small way, maybe. But yeah, there's a special place in your heart, Ibiza. But where's the place where you've had the most relaxing holiday?
It's gonna be in the mountains, hitting the slopes,
calling out to Heidi.
Yeah.
What spot was it? You mean ski, right?
Yeah, snowboarding. Yeah.
But you
Austria.
Okay.
Austria, definitely Austria.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than the French as well, isn't it? What's the favourite thing to do when you're not working?
Read. I like to read a lot of geopolitics. Very
really
abstract, yeah.
Really? Okay. So I'll turn you on to a little bit then.
No, that's not the same books as you read.
Well, I don't know. You'll get there eventually, mate. Trust me. But what are you reading right now?
I'm reading The State of the World Since '89. I'm reading also a book about misinformation, which dives into the art of misinformation and how it's been created. So that book actually dives into so it's very interesting because the art of misinformation has been created during the Cold War, and where those two sides, the book goes in on that.
Second World War, really.
But the book goes in on how they created it and what they used, what the techniques they used, and it's interesting because it's. I think that actually should be like a thing you get at school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
we need to flip the whole.
We need to teach people how to look at content and what's real, what's promotional, what's commercial, and what's probably not to.
And what's necessary. Well, I think we touched on it. What's a place to visit when that you haven't already got to yet? We sort of touched on that. You wanted to see. Is there any particular place you want to see? The Incas, the Mayas, all those.
I just want to go to small places in Mexico and Argentina and just be there. Yeah. Just want to. I don't have to go to the touristy stuff. I don't care.
No.
I just want to eat the local food. I was
knitting in Peru.
Yeah, maybe that. maybe not that. But I like the stuff from Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah.
Also, a good book to read, Kitchen Confidential.
Okay, cool.
And
Do you get menus in there as well? Does he give you some menus in there as well?
No.
Okay. It's
No,
just totally about his travels.
No, it's basically about how the life is in beyond. Like it's the backstage life in the kitchen.
Okay.
It's freaking interesting.
Okay, excellent. So you mentioned your current favourite mixes are the Solomon Monthlies, but what are you listening to in the car right now?
A lot of podcasts. I'm listening to I think I listen to the New York Times podcast. I listen to a German podcast that goes about geopolitics again. It's boring stuff, man. It's it looks like boring stuff.
It's boring. Huh?
For me, it's like so freaking interesting.
Well, there you go.
Because
it can't be boring.
listen, if you want to be at the forefront of stuff, how can you be at the forefront of stuff if you don't understand how the world works?
Indeed.
So my only work at the moment is trying to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Where are we going, and how can we work that with content?
Yeah. Okay. Do not comply. Do not comply.
Oh, there he goes again.
So okay, 2023. You're going to have a big. But what do you see in the future? What premonitions have you seen where you'd like to be headed to, or you think the next idea is not too far around the corner and you just have to wait for it?
No, next idea. It's all about, we're back to the building blocks. It's always an iteration from where you are.
What goes around comes around.
Sort of. So we on the night, if we didn't reach an agreement with a big cable network to run a new version, a new season of it, but that idea is still around.
Yeah.
And that idea would be very much be able to be picked up by another brand or industry.
Which
or
is amazing
country.
Saturday night concept.
Yeah, but in general, it's not only a Saturday night content. What we created fans and created interaction with music, and that's something you can apply to much more than what we did. So it's always like
that's in the rucksack, in the backpack.
It's always in the backpack. And at this point, like I told you, we're about to close another deal in the Middle East, and my focus at this point is there. But that doesn't say I'm not looking into what the Netherlands does. But there needs to be room for us to wiggle. And I think the industry needs to recover here, and there needs to be first some sort of calm before we can move along. So, we have other company as well that doing corporate stuff, right? Yeah. So we're doing lots of corporate work at the moment, and we still we have to pay the bills.
Yeah, indeed, that's the ultimate. Well, what can I say? Thank you very much indeed. I'm going to post all the links later to the description. The documentary one is also available now on YouTube.
Yeah.
From the events industry.
Yeah.
And the one documentary from the 10 years of We Are the Night.
It's still on. It's still called 10 Years We Are the Night, the documentary.
Cool. So I'll put all those links.
It's pretty fine. Only the voiceover back then was like shitty.
Wilco Jung, my brother.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
indeed.
Stretch.
It's been a pleasure. The GOAT. Don't forget, big support from Man for the Family, the Urban Where we put the link below, and big up Team 15. Thank you. Listen, like, and share.